The MVP programme is the Mentors in Violence Prevention.
Essentially, it's just being able to get to know the younger kids in our school and being able to learn from each other. So we're able to look at how they look at situations, and they're able to learn the different ways they can handle with the situations that they come across.
We have an opportunity to explain to the younger kids that society may not always be a good thing and positive, and then we can also show them the positives and negatives.
The MVP programme means a way of communicating to young people about how we can try and make our society a better place.
This programme was an opportunity for these children to teach their peers about really important messages, things like bullying, things like racism, things like stereotyping, which happens all the time.
A way to help younger children and inspire them to be better in the future, and it means a lot because I wasn't given that experience or the choice to be able to do that when I was younger, so I feel like it's very good that we're able to help them.
It's to educate the kids to know more about it, because in today's society they don't really know much because it's not talked about enough. So if all kids are educated on it, then it's going to be great to know, and it'll stop bad things from happening, like knife crime, racism. It'll reduce that.
At first I was a little bit worried about students going in. It's been quite sensitive topics to other students, but it's really taken me by surprise, the maturity that was shown by our mentors.
Things like encouraging young students on how to act, and obviously we're a lot older, so we have experience in it, and it's nice to be able to pass on our knowledge down to them.
It just means giving young people an opportunity to take a stance and teach others about different topics that you'd probably in some cases find taboo, and to be able to educate others so that no one ever has to feel like they're alone.
Supporting them on what to do and stuff if they're ever stuck in a situation. Children can build up the confidence and speak to people and not to keep things inside.
It's a way for older children to speak to younger children about current issues in the school and in the world, really.
It's a bit closer to the age, so they might feel more comfortable and it'd be easier for them to talk to us.
The responses we got from the Year 7s, we delivered ours to Year 7 groups, was great. They engaged in the conversations. I think they actually opened up more because they've seen other students and in front of them talking about it.
I think it's a great way for children to be able to express themselves in a safe environment and be able to communicate with older peers that maybe they wouldn't be able to speak to normally.
Say if they get in situations that they hear you similar got into, they can learn from it and use those experiences.
I think it's about leadership and how you represent yourself to others, and how younger people who are say 12 or 13 would look up to someone your age and how they see you.
It teaches me valuable life lessons in a way. Things that you're not supposed to do, things that you're supposed to do. It teaches you things about society and the world we live in.
It's quite special to me because it's also taught me some things that usually I wouldn't really think about, such as gender stereotypes, bullying, because I've never really experienced bullying, so it's taught me quite a few things about how to prevent bullying.
It's given people a chance to have peers that they can talk to, staff that they can talk to, and a wide range of knowledge as to how to deal with different types of bullying and things that happen to them in school life.
It's really useful because it doesn't just teach them what it is, but also how it affects people.
It's very educational, it teaches you about different types of violence, bullying, social media, how it can have effects on young people, and doing the whole programme, it makes you more confident to speak about certain topics.
It means a lot to me because when I first started, I thought that it would be terrible, oh, I'm gonna mess up or something. But in reality, I was actually really good at it. It helped build my confidence a little more towards from when I first started to the end right now. So it's helped me improve.
I've gained confidence, self-respect for myself.
At the start, when we got told that we were gonna be speaking to young kids and stuff, you feel a bit yeah, it's just not one of them ones, and then when you do it, you feel good, you feel confident, it brings you happy, makes you happy and stuff like that.
Teamwork, to work with team, people that I don't speak to as much in my year that I do now because we work as a team for the MVP.
It's something that's helped me see how I can be in school and outside of school in a different way, and that's in a responsible way.
People skills, I'd say people skills. Usually I wouldn't just speak in front of a large crowd.
I used to hate social interactions, but I am a bit better with talking to people now?
I think it's gotten me to be involved more with the younger years, especially like year 7. Obviously, we've been teaching them.
It's built my leadership skills and helped me gain confidence.
Leadership and like being able to think on my feet, because obviously like I know with like some of the PowerPoints we had to like alter and that, so being like be able to think like on your feet and do stuff, then that's quite a good skill to have.
To the mentors, I think it's given a lot of confidence to be leaders. So we have pupils who are now part of our senior prefect team. We have pupils who have taken part in events outside of school. So we have a pupil who is on the St Helens Youth Council as well, due to the skills and the confidence gained from MVP.
Definitely confidence and be able to speak. Like I said, I wasn't planning anything for this conversation yet. I know what to say because I trust in my skills as an MVP mentor to know what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and to talk about it.
I like the confidence that comes when you're speaking to the year 7s and the friendships that you gain when you're there.
I feel like I've built a better relationship with the kids as well, so if there is anything, even if I'm not their mentor anymore, they can come and speak to me still.
I'd say I'm more resilient since we started the programme.
I'd say before we did the programme I was like scared to speak in front of other people, or and then delivering a whole session in front of a whole class, it's like made me more confident.
I used to not be very good at public speaking, and I think talking to like a lot of people at once has like improved that.
My confidence has boosted and I'm able to now go around and speak to the younger kids and
Because we've been presenting to year 7s, it's really boosted my speaking skills and like speech and confidence, because I don't think I would have been able to do that before, but because it's been to like larger crowds, it's really good for your confidence.
I've not really done much public speaking prior to this, but I feel like just talking to such a big class, especially people that you've never met before, I think it just really helps with building confidence.
I'm able to speak to a big crowd now.
I think I've gained a lot of confidence because I know before I was really nervous when it came to talking to like audiences.
It's confidence, it's being able to lead a classroom, being able to talk about difficult situations, talk about difficult issues, but with the peers, and it's the first time they're really leading an environment, and in terms of confidence it made a world of difference.
It's a massive impact on the school ethos. Students now feel a lot more open about speaking about these issues and in speaking to other students about it in particular. Our mentors are identified by the MVP badge that they've got on their blazers, and you see these students engaging in conversations in the corridors and in the classrooms as well, and I think that open dialogue between students has been really great to see.
Even after the lessons and that, they speak to you or they see you around school and they give you a thumbs up and tell you that was good. It's actually reassure you in a way, and it's really nice of them.
And also seeing the kids engage in the lessons and putting their hands up and wanting to ask questions.
I think the mentees will gain respect for older people and younger people, and like not to bully people, and if they ever see someone they'll know what to do as well.
I think that they just learn about different topics that they probably wouldn't have heard about before, because in form, like normal form, they don't really talk about the stuff that MVP teaches you about.
White children per se will get a view on what people of other ethnicities go through, and it'll give them more of an open mind about society.
We done a session about racism, and they were engaging, and then they asked questions, and they were wanting to know about what happens in society.
Gender stereotypes, which is like a massive problem in schools, and rumours going on, and it teaches them about it and like how you can prevent it.
Situations such as knife crime and like racial violence and stuff, it lets them understand the severity more seriously.
They'll be more comfortable coming to other people, knowing that other people like suffer from problems that they do as well, so that they won't be scared to just bottle it in and all that.
Some quieter kids normally try to shy away, but through MVP we kind of got them to speak up and show their opinions, and I think that's great that they're showing what they actually think.
They'll have that reassurance of when they're walking down the corridors, they'll see us and they'll know, oh well, I know them from the MVP session. So I think that helps them quite a lot.
And it's something that empowers the mentees to think, you know what, yeah, I'm okay as I am, I don't need to change, I don't need to fit into this little box, this little idea of being someone that you don't have to be or don't want to be.
I think maybe they'll feel supported because sometimes there's not a lot of people to go to, and when you have people to talk to and people talking to you about it, it just makes it easier because you don't want to go to someone that you think isn't going to help, but you know that will help them.
Not only just take home anti-violence like to spread, but they would also learn new things about like cyberbullying or like online safety.
Me and my friends have helped sort out like friendship problems in year 7. So, for example, this girl, like she felt like she was left out, but like just maybe thinking people were making fun of her, but we got her to be more involved and like other people to include her more, which has like really helped.
I think they got a bigger voice from it, and being able to speak to older people and knowing that it's not okay if people are not being nice to you and they can have someone to talk to.
Yeah, definitely knowing that they're not okay. Like if it's not okay, then you should speak up about it and tell someone.
I feel like they can get more help as well because where suicide's becoming a lot more thing because of bullying and things like that. So there's more of a chance for the kids to speak out and get the help they deserve.
The different points of view that they can take when they come across a situation, like not just saying nothing, doing nothing, just watching, like the actions that they can take to prevent anything further escalating, and just not like falling under peer pressure and not just acting as a bystander.
Being able to know how to respect others and talking to others about different topics that they might have found difficult talking to people about before.
It gives them a platform to be able to speak about the stuff that they didn't have before because it's so like not talked about.
I think they've gained a lot of knowledge on the world and what actually happens, because I think in high school a lot of like rumours and bullying happens mainly, so I feel like they get taught it's actually a really serious problem that we need to deal with.
They gain further knowledge and you also gain new knowledge, because I've had children come up to me and tell me, oh, I've never knew about that, thank you for teaching me, oh, that was a good session, I enjoyed that.
I've had a few kids come up to me and be like, oh, I don't want to tell like a teacher, but could you help me tell them? Like, can you help me do it?
I think it's also helped in like friendship groups throughout the year as well, to understand each other better and to understand like how to communicate with each other better and what's wrong and what's right.
I think they also learn a sense of confidence and a sense of being able to be an active bystander and being able to break out of any box of stereotypes, break out of any fears they may have, and just be able to be themselves and help others be themselves.
The snitch culture is definitely negative, and MVP has helped a little bit with that, especially like with the bystander effect.
Being an active bystander is someone that does something after they've seen something, and that could be like essentially it takes courage to do that.
We've said it's not aggressing, it's helping someone. It's better to help someone than just leave it.
Because when you usually tell young people, like if you see something happen, you should just tell like a teacher or someone. They probably like don't really want to because they think that they'll get called a snitch or something. But you know, in the sessions we talked about how it's actually helping other people and benefiting what's happening to tell someone about it. I feel like they think it's wrong and they feel like they shouldn't snitch even if it's a worse situation. So I think teaching them a lesson about snitching, saying that sometimes it is good to snitch and tell a teacher, because if it's something bad it needs to be dealt with.
I feel like the kids think, oh, snitches get stitches, like something's bad's gonna happen to them. But when we come in and deliver the sessions, they can realise that it can be okay. You can get the help, it can stop someone from getting hurt, whether that's themselves or others.
Snitching is very prominent in schools as a sort of bad thing to do, but overall you have to stand up for what's right.
If someone's just not done something, like forgotten to bring in something and the teacher doesn't know and you go and tell them, I feel like that isn't really a good situation to be a snitch. But if someone's done something horrible to someone else, like bullied someone, and you're too afraid to speak up, then you should.
Before we came in and sort of throughout the sessions we might have heard little comments, it could have been snitches get stitches or something like that. But I think towards the end we kind of noticed it dying down and sort of heard other stuff like saying it's okay to, you know, get a teacher, go and get help, and kind of improved as we went along.
It sort of took away the taboo for the kids, and now they don't see it as snitch and they see it as like going to tell someone who can help them.
Because we've like educated the entire year on it, because obviously we've had every like, year 8 like form group educated on it, everyone kind of feels, oh, it's more like looked up on, so you're thinking, oh, it like takes courage to be able to stand up for that.
If it's a serious situation, like you've got to say, even if you are seen as a snitch, you're standing up for what's right, you're telling like a teacher or a trusted adult what's right and what should be known, and not to keep it a secret.
If you do need to tell someone about something, you're not a snitch, you're just doing what's right, and it's what needs to be done.
I think it's just spreading the message that being a snitch isn't necessarily a bad thing. If anything, you're helping prevent a situation that could get a lot worse.
Our mentees, we've had quite a few pupils who have had the confidence to go to their MVP mentors, speak to them and have the confidence to go to staff over problems which perhaps they would have kept to themselves or would have dealt with in a different way. So it's been fabulous to help a lot of people in lots of ways.
MVP is important because it's very crucial to pinpoint where the bullying starts so it doesn't continue in the first place.
The younger years' attitudes, it's much different to when MVP wasn't around.
Yeah, especially like you don't see as much bullying, or you just everyone's a lot more like together as one.
Friendly.
And, friendly with each other, yeah.
I think it's important for young people in year 7 or in year 8 to gain knowledge about the topics that we talk about so that they're educated about them in the future.
In, say, PSHE lessons, some of the kids might be hesitant to talk about like sensitive stuff in front of their teachers, but when it's with peers who are like only a couple of years older than you, I feel like they're more open about things, they'll share more things, and it's just a more in-depth discussion.
I think it's needed because some children will go into secondary school or be out in public and they might not know some valuable lessons that they need to know. Some people might think doing something is okay, it's normal, even though it might be wrong. Like some people are brought up in, say, in a racist household, in a sexist household, and they'll show off them attributes, and they'll go out into the outside world and they'll do them things. However, they won't know that's wrong because of the way they've grew up in. But if we're able to teach them that it's okay, it's okay that they've grown up in that, but we can change them and they can change the ways, that's the best possible outcome that we can bring out.
Most of the stuff that we talk about, like it goes on like outside of school and stuff, but no one really talks about it in school, so at least now like they know what to do if they see it.
I think it's very common for kids to think it's okay to bully one another and see it as banter. And I think it needs to stop being so generalised to be nasty to each other. So I think if we teach them about what's wrong and right, it can help like the future generations coming up in high school to know what's wrong and right.
I think it's needed because with lots of schools nowadays, the bullying doesn't stop inside of school. Like it will just carry on the way home and when you're in your bedroom looking on your phone. Whereas with the previous generations, MVP was still needed, but it wasn't needed as much because there was less bullying going on, whereas now it can just happen anywhere at any time.
It makes society a better place in a way because it means nicer people, friendly people. People won't be scared to be who they are.
The things that I've gained from it would have been very important and would have been great to have in year 7. And going through, when I look back and similar experiences that I had, I know I could have dealt with things better, and if I'd have gone through the MVP process earlier, I know I could have dealt with them better.
If I'd gained that knowledge from a younger age, it would have helped me avoid many negative situations that I faced from year 7 till now.
I had a lot of issues in year 7 in school, and there wasn't really anyone I could talk to about, so that would have been helpful in year 7.
When you're in year 7, it's quite daunting when you see all these big people, but if you know them from your sessions, you feel a bit more comfortable and you feel like everyone's a bit closer together than they are.
I know that if I was that age, I would have felt a lot more comfortable talking to somebody close to my age rather than an adult because I'd feel they'd be able to understand my struggles more and not understand my problems.
It would have shown me who to go to instead of going to an adult because I didn't feel...
Because we wouldn't really feel as though we could like tell certain people about if it's like a certain topic.
It's a new place.
Yeah.
You've gone from being the biggest people in the school to the smallest people.
Yeah. I was bullied quite a lot in year 7 and 8 because of my glasses and stuff. Like I was called names, and I feel like if I had someone to speak to about it, like I wouldn't get all like built up emotions that can't be let out. And so, like I need to speak to someone So I hope that can be like the same for the year 7s. They get to speak to someone.
If I see an act that I know is wrong, then I'll definitely stand up to it, which I might not have done before because I might not have had the confidence to do so.
I feel like it'll help me speak out a lot more and be a lot courageous and more resilient in the tasks that I do.
Like if you go for like job interviews, I also feel you'll be more open to speak in front of large groups of people and stuff like that.
I think it will help me when I go for an interview, for example, to not get nervous.
I want to do criminal psychology, and I also want to like analyse the minds of criminals and stuff. So I feel that it could help if I'm able to give them like an outlet and like the sense of feeling that they can actually share how they feel and things.
Personally, I've already used it. I'm part of a youth military organisation, the Air Cadets, and in there we have these like ranks, like corporal, sergeants, all that. And in my interviews, I did actually use it. I mentioned, you know, I'm part of this MVP thing where I help out children, I teach them about these topics so I can communicate and talk with things, and that definitely did help me improve my career in that sense.
It'll help me be more accepting and understanding of other people and be able to help other people who need it.
Most careers these days require you to do a bunch of group work and talk to others, and so the key skill being able to work in a group no matter the age difference and to be able to talk to people you've just only met is such a key thing that I feel has truly been empowered by being an MVP, and that if I never did it I would probably in 20 years time walk into a meeting and be completely silent because my own opinions wouldn't be able to be voiced by myself.
I want to be like a primary school teacher, so I feel like if I brought it in and told the kids like we need to stay away from like racism, bring in being friendly and things like that, like you shouldn't discriminate against people because they're different, you're all equal. I feel like that would be a big change in society because a lot of people, like older family members, are often racist because that's the way they've grown up. So it could like affect the children. So I feel like they need help to like go in a different direction and see what's right.